All right, welcome to the first remix session.
We're going to give you a sense of what happens now. So I've talked about religion and Prof Bun B has talked about hip hop. Now we're going to flip it. I have some questions for Prof concerning hip hop, and he's going to have some questions to ask concerning religion. So let's get started. So Prof,
Yes, sir.
You've talked in terms of the basic elements of hip hop.
Yes.
And we give a lot of time and attention to rap music for good reason. But it seems to me there's more we might want to say concerning breaking. If you think about the population, if you think about the time frame, and you think about the location, it seems to me there are ways in which breaking wasn't a subtle protest, it was an in-your-face protest. That is to say, these brown and black bodies were typically understood as undesirable, marginal, lacking beauty, lacking importance, and these young folks gave these bodies a supple presence, a place in the world that spoke to beauty, integrity, a kind of aesthetic depth. Am I on?
Absolutely, you're head on with that, Doc. I think for many years, people of color have had to deal with emasculation on many levels. The primary one, I think, being physical. For years, for many people, their bodies didn't even belong to them. So a lot of this has been about reclaiming oneself or reclaiming one's body in the physical sense. Even with today, when we look at modern perceptions of people of color, there's the idea that they're less educated because they don't want to be educated, that they're lazy and don't want to be productive. Well, you can't become a great breakdancer being lazy. It's just impossible. This takes hours, days, weeks, months, years of practice and attention. And for a lot of these people that are doing this breakdance, in the same way that rap music and the rapper has used his voice to reclaim himself, and the graffiti artist per se has used the art on the visual side to reclaim himself. The DJ has used the musical side. Well, this is the physical side of reclaiming oneself. This is the physical side of reintroducing and reappropriating the physical form in a better sense and to portray it in its truest form, I think.
Brilliant, brilliant. Just one statement, and you tell me if this is accurate or not. There are ways in which people speak life meaning, rap, but there are also ways in which you simply do life meaning.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, breakdancing is akin to all other art forms that take place within the physical form. Ballet, for example. Many people use ballet as a sense of expressing feelings and emotion through physical movement. The same thing is done within hip-hop with breakdancing. It's just another way of people expressing themselves, the fluidity of motion, the beautification of the body, just reappropriating one's physical self to send a different message than what's been sent about the physical form.
Now that's really helpful, Prof. So let's flip it and let's turn to religion. You have something for me?
Well, yeah, when I talk to, these guys and most people on the street, and they find out that I'm teaching a course based on hip hop and religion, the things that come up are, well, specifically not even things, but terminology tends to come into play. The number one question I'm always asked is, what is spirituality? But then after that, there also becomes, what does it mean to be religious? Now, how close are those in practice?
Well, let's think about it this way, that religion revolves around, our first definition of religion, revolves around institutions, doctrines, and creeds. These are things that are mapped out, mapped out.
Right.
And so when folks say I'm spiritual but not religious, what they typically mean to say is, I'm about the idea that there is something beyond me. There is meaning in the world, right? That there is a presence beyond me to which I respond, but I'm not all about the activities of the church or the mosque. I'm not about their theology. I'm not about their doctrine, but I do believe there's something else here. And so that kind of distinction is what's in play.
Okay, now that's with the primary definition.
That's with the first.
Now what about with the definition of religion as we use it within these sessions?
The idea that religion is a quest for complex subjectivity,
yes.
There's more continuity with spirituality in that definition, right? Because the person who says I'm spiritual but not religious is about the understanding that meaning is to be made and that there's a presence here that extends beyond me, And our definition of religion, that second definition of religion, is open to that sort of understanding, that what we are about is the creation of meaning, right? Wrestling with these huge questions of life, the who, what, when, where, and why we are question. Folks who consider themselves spiritual are wrestling with those same issues.
That's amazing. Offered me a lot of insight. I hope it offered you some as well. That's the end for the remix for this session. We'll see you at the next session.